Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Darkest Dungeon. Uh, what we're going to be doing is playing Darkest Dungeon, which, if you don't know, is it is a turn-based dungeon crawler by Red Hook. And the Crimson Court DLC came out not too long ago, so I'm gonna start a playthrough. Basically, as you can see, here's the DLC. You have the districts, which are buildings to upgrade your hamlet, the Fledgling, which is a new class, and the Crimson Court has new bosses, monsters, trinkets, storylines, and all that sort of stuff. So I'm excited to see what it's all about. I've never played the Crimson Court before, but I've played the base game, and I'm excited. So let's just get in this. So just failed to rename it. I'll handle that later. I've always thought the artwork about this game was quite fantastic. I think that was one of the major things that attracted me to it in the beginning. I've always loved the narrator for this game. His voice is amazing. Every one of his lines is well written. I think some of the wordplay they use in this game is some of the most fantastic I've seen in video games. It's just absolutely lovely. So these are our first two heroes. You have Reynaud, the Crusader, and Dismas, the Highwayman. They're always your first two heroes. And I don't know if their perks and these sorts of things are the quirks and perks are always the same. I believe so, but they're pretty good. They're basically like what you would call, I guess, the two standard classes. Uh, Crusader is kind of like your basic tank. They have great unholy damage with their skills, as you can see here. And Highwayman's got a wide variety of skills that allow him to be quite useful, such as Grape Shot Blast allows him to deal damage to multiple enemies. Pistol Shot's great for getting the back line, and Open Vein is nice for bleed. So we're just going to get a move along here. Basically, how you move is you click these down here, and it allows you to walk between rooms. And then you just click on the map to walk back and forth. You have your torch, which you can turn the light up and down. As the light's up, the game's a little bit easier, but as it drops, you get better loot. Monsters hit harder, they're more accurate. So it's kind of like, do you want the game to be harder and you can earn more stuff, or do you just want to get through it quite easily? So there you go. So as you can see here, the stats appear down here. He's got less bleed resist, and it takes some speed away. And he's also got bleed. As you can see, he bled my dude as well. Um, just smack him inside the head, really. He's got no health left. Just give him a good bop. And that's basically combat. It depends on speed stats. Speed pretty much decides who goes first. Your quirks uh, affect your speed as well as your armor and any sort of trinkets that you can have later. So that stuff will come more into play. As you walk around, the game still counts rounds, basically, for each one of these little steps. That counts as a round. So if you have bleed damage or any sort of blight or just poison or anything like that, it will continue to tick. So you always have to watch and make sure your heroes aren't dying. These are curios. They're just basically like little things that appear as you walk through the hallway or in rooms. And you check them and you can find stuff like gold, heirlooms, which you use to upgrade buildings. Not everyone is good, and they have a lot of interactables. So you should always try to keep up with that. So basically, what happened there was I got surprised, and it can shuffle your party around, which can be very annoying. But luckily, with just these two, it doesn't really change too much, and we should still be able to work this out. He resisted my stun, which is annoying. Um, as you can see, this right here is stress. As stress builds up, it can do some pretty nasty things to your heroes, which is never good. Once it builds up to 100, they become afflicted, which basically means they get a giant negative stat bonus, and they can have some basically like things happen in battle that won't work in your favor. Like they can just choose to pass a turn, or they'll move themselves back and forward in your line without you wanting them to. And uh, they can also become, I believe it's called, I can't remember exactly what it's called right now. I want to say it's called righteous, but I don't think so. Virtuous is what it's called. They can become virtuous, which is a giant boon. So basically, after you complete a quest, you can choose to return to the hamlet, or you can remain and continue adventuring. Which, if you return instantly, you can't search this chest. Now, there's a high probability that this chest is trapped because I don't have a key to open it. But just for the sake of the game, I'm going to show you what that looks like. Yeah, it's trapped. He gets a little bit of blight. He resisted it. You don't get any items. But say if I were to have a key in here, when I clicked on it, I could open it with the key, and we can just get out. We can take the treasures without having to do that. So these are the things that you collected throughout your journey. Like we have these two food that you just pretty much start with, and then you have the gold that we collected throughout. And all these heirlooms add up and basically allow you to upgrade your hamlet, which we'll see in a moment. This is your hero level. As they go through dungeons and quests, they get stronger. And these are basically the positives and negatives. These how new quirks show up. Also, just through not being through curios. So basically, after each map, you'll come to the screen, and sometimes you'll get a positive or negative quirk, and they show you what they are here. You can go through here, and after that, you head to your hamlet. So this just shows you game quests throughout the game, basically bosses to kill, getting through the dungeon, and all that sort of stuff. And I guess these are the new Crimson Court things down here. Roster goals, raise different classes to rank 6. These are all the classes in the game. This shows you what's happened. So basically, Dismiss and Reynold move to level 1, and we unlock the Ruins, which is the first dungeon. Um, these are our first buildings. Not everything starts out unlocked. It takes a couple weeks to get everything in order. So you get the stagecoach where you can get a new hero. And this is your stagecoach. Basically, you can upgrade your stagecoach uh, for the purpose of getting new heroes. So you can upgrade your hero barracks to increase the size of your roster, or you can upgrade the stagecoach network itself to make more heroes show up. Both of which I will do in a second, but I think are both really good. This is the Ancestors of Memoirs. Basically, all the mistakes he's made as you go through the game, you'll unlock these stuff. Defeating bosses, it just kind of reveals to you the story of the game itself. Um, and you can also find journals, which will unlock as we just go through. But each one of these is a little clip where the ancestor talks about a giant mistake he made and unleashed some sort of horror upon the world. You also have your graveyard. So basically, as I said, when somebody dies, they get buried in the graveyard. This is not a game where you'll be able to go through and keep all your heroes alive. More likely than not, you will lose some people. And that's just part of the game. That's the way it is. the way it's meant to be. It's meant to be hard. It's meant to be a game of a lot of trade-offs. Nothing is ever going to be perfect, and it's all about balancing the risk reward. That's what this entire game is, at least in my opinion. I think it's all about very much balancing risk reward and making the best you can of hard situations. So I'm going to go ahead and upgrade the stagecoach here so I can get more heroes on the next go around. Basically, they show up every week, and the more you have, the better, honestly. You can convert your heirlooms into other heirlooms. So I'm going to convert. I might just convert some crests, actually. They're easily gettable. I just really want one of these so I can get the stagecoach to 4. Basically, the more people you have to choose from, the more strategies you can devise for your team. Like, these characters here are fine, but they're not exactly my favorite classes to play with. This here is the Vestal, and what she does is she can be your backline healer. She also has some frontline skills, but I mainly like her as a backline healer. You also have your Plague Doctor. They are very good at applying buffs and debuffs to enemies, or buffs to your team, debuffs, and curing bleeds. So as you can see, they can buff a target's damage and speed. They can shuffle enemy party. They can cause bleed. They have Poison Grenade, which does poison to the back to people. As you can see, the red lines are who they target, and the yellow dots are where they need to be in the party in order to cast these skills. And these skills are grayed out, which you can unlock later through the guild, but we'll worry about that later. Right now, we're just going to pull a dungeon run. So, I'm going to throw her in 4. I'm going to throw him in 3. And we're going to pull our first run through the ruins. As you can see here, these are the rewards you get. This is your goal. Simple. Explore 90% of the rooms. You'll automatically get 3,000 gold, 4 crests, which are these right here, and a trinket. Trinkets are basically items that power up your heroes. They usually have positive and negative trade-offs. Usually nothing's ever positive as far as I can tell. Like this, get plus 10 bleed skill chance, but you lose the speed. So it's kind of like, do you want that trade-off of being able to bleed enemies on a better chance, but sacrificing speed? I usually try not to sacrifice speed unless it's on a tank, because I think speed is too important. A truer statement about this screen has probably never been spoken. On this screen, you're basically looking to prepare for going into the dungeon. So, the biggest advice that I can give people is only bring about as much as you think you need, because you don't get much gold back, if any, for the items you bring that aren't used. So, going into the ruins, I like to bring 8 food, specifically because as you're walking around, your team will experience hunger checks. And if you don't have food to feed them, they take massive damage and stress damage, which is never good. Medicinal herbs interact with curios. As you can see, they cleanse items and prevent maladies. And they can also be applied to hero, eliminate combat debuffs. I guess when the buff gets bad, you can use them for that. I've never really used them for that. I always prefer to keep them curios. You have bandages, which stop bleeding and can also be used for certain curios, but I don't think I'll need any here, so I'm not going to bring them. The Plague Doctor automatically brings 1 antitoxin, as some heroes just bring items. And I believe it's the Crusader that brings the Holy Water. It might be the Vestal, I'm not 100% sure. But I'll bring a second one because I'm going to the ruins. They're quite useful here. Most people bring torches that lets you keep up your light level, but I like to play on low light, as it, although it makes the battles harder, you get better items. So I kind of like that trade-off, and I prefer good loot. Keys allow you to get into chests and other certain curios, so you always want to have those. And shovels, I think, are one of the most important items in the game, because sometimes you come across walls that you can't get by, and those will deal massive damage to your team and cause massive stress damage. And if you can, any way to avoid stress damage is probably one of the best things you can do. Kill enemies that do stress damage early on as possible, because mitigating stress is probably one of the biggest things about this game that causes it to be so hard. As you can see, this antivenom cures blights, poisons, and toxins. Um, and that's pretty much it. Laudanum, there's a new what do you call it? Not debuff, but sort of like a bleed or a blight, or like a poison that basically does overtime stress damage to your team. And I haven't encountered it before, so I have no idea what will be doing it. So I might need some, but uh, I guess I could buy one in case. But I think we'll be fine. I think the first ruin missions I wouldn't have too much to worry about from this. But other than that, this is like for just a short mission. I think this is like my basic setup. I think I don't very much have high value for torches or of the such. So any ones I find I'll use, but other than that I don't bring any in the dungeons with me. So here we go, in our first step into the ruins. Alright, here we go. So I just see basic party order, your map, this how much, so exploring 90% of rooms I guess would be about like, probably like if you explored all of this right here, you explore all of this, and maybe like these couple rooms, and that might be 90, or maybe up to here. Um, and, well, let's just get it on. So we're going to move to the first room here. As you can see, just walking through the hallway. You can walk, that's just sometimes as you're walking, people will experience stress damage. That's standard. Like I said, you can find torches, and you just take them with you. I'll just save it for now. Light's pretty much maxed. It's no reason to burn it. And as I said, I prefer low light anyway, so I'm not too worried about it dropping. These are basic enemies of the ruins. As you can see down here, they're resistances. They have 10% stun resistance, which means they're easy to stun, 10% blight resistance, which means they're easy to blight, and debuffing and moving them isn't much of a challenge. But they have 200% bleed resistance, which makes sense if you think about it. They're undead skeletons. So bleeding them should be practically near impossible, as they have no blood. So with our Vestal here, we're just going to cast Judgment, and bam, as you can see, it does some damage. It heals her. Basically, what I just need her to do is just sit in the back, be a healer. They just have basic smacks. So Dismiss's Open Vein here doesn't really have much use, as bleeding, you can still use it for the debuff, but bleeding is pretty much impossible on these skeletons, as he has 100% bleed chance and they have 200% resistance. So the chances of it happening are 0. But he brings his pistol, which is great for just taking out this guy in the back, or I can even use Grape Shot Blast, which with them both. Once again, another bleed skill, not very useful, but we have Emboldening Vapors, which is a buff, and we have Disorienting Blast, which is a great thing for clearing corpses, which is what this is right here. Corpses build up and they'll hit you from they'll prevent you from hitting enemies in the back. But skills like Disorienting Blast, you can cast it, it'll shuffle around, and it'll clear all corpses automatically. Just to show it off. And obviously, let's bop this dude, he's out of here. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. First dungeon shouldn't cause you too much trouble, even if you're new to the game. And you can search items. So we're going to ignore this for a second. So you can search items by clicking on it. By clicking on a different person, you can choose who searches it. So like certain items have different effects. And if you know what their effects are, you can kind of use them to buff your party. So like this is just a basic chest, but certain items later will give damage. Other things will give you buffs and stuff. So really deciding who you want it on is important. The things we just got right here is a Citron, which is just basically a gold piece, I assume, or maybe it's a small gem. Basically, it's just worth 250 gold. They stack up. It's just another thing that you can sell as you get back. You have portraits, which are very rare, and they're another thing used in upgrading the buildings of your hamlet. See, this is what I was talking about. You come across these walls like this. Now, if I didn't have the shovel, my party would take damage and take stress damage. But just simply click the shovel, wall's not a problem. See, we got surprised. It's very random. You can't control when it happens. If it happens, don't worry about it. Um, Basically, what we're going to do here is just going to use a tracking shot. Give Dismiss a little bit of a buff. I think this buff lasts all battle now. Yeah, it does. You can play Grenade. See, sadly, because although this is supposed to hit the two enemies in the back, there's no fourth guy here, so it can't hit them. So we'll just... I can use the Disorienting Class to try to shuffle their party around, his mind shuffled around to make it a little bit more annoying. But I think just trying to poison this person and get rid of them as quickly as possible is what I want to do the most. Because as you can see, they're going to do stress damage. Like, it does little health damage, but it builds up stress. And that's really not good for your team. The Vestal also has some melee skills, which I just don't use because she's normally in the back. But as you can see, she can bop a skeleton. This girl can bop a skeleton. She's not weak. She can easily be on the front lines. Right there, that was a crit. And it's basically like other games. You have a crit chance. Right there, 6%. And I just got unlucky. He got crit for about all of his HP. And that's a little bit of unfortunate. Right now, with Reynold being in the back, there's not much he can do but step forward. So I just kind of have to move him forward. As you can see right here, she has this Blight on her, which is going to deal 4 damage. And I can slash her, which will obviously kill her. But sometimes you have to weigh the risk, like, do you really want to slash her? Like, you don't need to. I'll cast this buff right here, give her some damage and speed. So that way she can just kill the skeleton off and we don't have to deal with it anymore. Bam, and that's the end of the battle. Now, my Highwayman's a little scuffed up. As you can see, his HP is really low. You can use food to heal, but I would just prefer to wait till the next battle and use the healing skills. This button right here will shuffle your party back to its default order. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. We got some nice things. We got some sapphires, which are pretty rare items. They sell for 1,000 gold per single unit, which just like these stack, but each single unit in the stack is worth 250. So now it's worth 500. So sometimes those items can easily outpace how much gold is worth. And as you can see, your inventory space, this is scouting right here. This is scouting. Basically, sometimes as you step into a room, it'll show you what's coming up ahead, and you can decide what ways you want to go. So like this room has a battle with the curio, this room has a battle with the treasure. You can really decide which way you want to go. It doesn't really make too much of a difference, but you kind of want to hit both rooms, as curios can be good, as well as you want to collect as much treasure. Now, as I was speaking on about inventory space, it's not infinite. This is all you get. So sometimes you will have to make a trade for certain items. What you want to keep and what you want to get rid of. I just burned the torch right there just because it was in my inventory. Just kind of want to get rid of it. Lights dropping. It's whatever. You have packs like this along the ground. You can just pick them up. They contain loot. Like we got a key here, which is dope. Hopefully we come across some chests. We got another citron, which will just sell for money. And other than that, you just keep moving along. You can see the things on the map right here. I'll zoom in so you can see. Like curios appear as you're walking through hallways, and they also appear in rooms. These right here is a symbol for a trap, and I'll show you what you do with those once we get closer to one. So, into the next room we go. Dope, a treasure chest. I'm excited to get to that. So basically, with this fight, Grape Shot Blast is awesome because I can just open up and kind of deal a decent amount of damage if we didn't miss. It happens. And I'm going to have her heal him so he doesn't go down. Let's try to keep his health up. As you can see, enemies will try to hit him. That was a good dodge. Now that bleed's going to be annoying, but we should be alright. I'm going to use the Plague Grenade here to try to get rid of her as quickly as possible. Stress damage, I don't think is too bad in the early game, but just as to be consistent, you want to get rid of it as quickly as possible. Now, something you can do is you can commit to, like, say, stunning him here, which he resisted, which is a shame. But even though it's the end of the round, like this turn he would have been stunned, he would have never got this attack off. So sometimes you can make these sorts of trade-offs. I'm going to pistol shot her, drop her health as much as possible. See, now this blight is going to make sure she dies, and I don't have to deal with her anymore. When enemies die to blight or bleed, they don't leave a corpse behind. So that usually works in your favor if you can try to time that out. This guy right here is human, so obviously bleeding him is very possible. So I can use the Plague Doctor's incision right here for some good bleed damage and just cut him up. Dismiss, what he's suffering right here is called Death's Door. Basically, bleed, this next damage he takes could be fatal. So even this bleed damage could possibly kill him. If he gets hit by an enemy, it could possibly kill him. You have a chance to resist a death blow by 67%, which you can raise up through items. But I wouldn't normally chance it, so like I said, we're going to heal him to keep him alive. Now he's got what's called the Death's Door Recovery, or the Mortality debuff. And as you can see, he's just going to suffer this through the rest of the quest. -2 accuracy, -5% damage, some extra stress, and all this sort of stuff. So if you can avoid it, you really want to, but sometimes it's impossible. And you just got to work with the best you can. So as you can see, he's going to take 1 damage. This skill, it'll show you how much your skills will do down here. It says hero damage 4 to 7. So this slash will do anywhere between 4 to 7 damage, which is a guaranteed kill. We just got an amazing crit. Crits also don't leave corpses. So as you can see, he's back on Death's Door. It's very possible that if he goes, that bleed could have killed him. I just got lucky and he resisted it. So what we're going to do is we're going to stab him here, kill him up real good, take all this. Now be careful, and I will stress this a lot. If I were to walk out this room and take a round, this bleed will proc again and has the chance to kill him. So make sure I don't have a bandage to cure the bleed. What I can do is I can just pop a food to get him off Death's Door. And now when this bleed procs, it'll still only do 1 damage, but he won't die. Just make sure that you always get your people off Death's Door. Or sometimes, if they're bleeding and you're not paying attention, they will die to the bleed damage. Now, this quest is going a little bit unlucky. Obviously, you can see as his health is very low, but we should be alright. So you can click this chest. You can open the chest, but if you use the key, it unlocks a hidden compartment, and you get some nice things. Obviously, deeds. Deeds are for upgrading the hamlet. Emeralds, as you can see, these right here are worth 750 each. So this is what, 1,500 goldish just for opening that. And you get this thing called the Blood, which is basically something to do with the Crimson Court. I'm not exactly sure yet, but we'll learn that together, so don't you worry. And there's that bleed damage. Boom, it just ticked. He's got 1 HP left, but don't worry, we're rocking. So now as you walk, there's that trap right there on the ground. As you can see it right here, you basically step up to it. It turns red, and then you're able to click on it. Heroes like the Highwaymen, like the more seedy, darker heroes, have a higher chance of disarming traps without them going off on them. It gets rid of the trap, they get some stress relief, and you can just keep moving on like it's normal. As you can see here, it's pitch black now. The stress is fully up, monster damage and accuracy is fully up. The chances of us getting surprised are much higher. But that loot though, and you know what it is, it's all about them fat loots. So we're going to move down here to check out this room. As you can see, there's another trap in the way. You step up to it till it turns red, you click it, disarmed, everything's golden, and you just keep walking along. Now there's a battle in this room, high chance we get surprised. Like, I don't have any more torches, but like I said, I'm used to playing on low light anyway. I could pop some more food, seeing as we haven't had a food check. The probability of us having 2 within this short distance are very unlikely. So I'll go ahead and pop another one just to give him some more health. So, opening this fight up, my Plague Doctor goes first. Casting Disorienting Blast is not a bad idea, seeing as I can shuffle this guy to the front, and he now is stunned, and he can't do all of those damaging things that make him so annoying. Grape Shot Blast just to get some damage down, see he's stunned. After becoming unstunned, they get some stun resist, so it's a little bit harder to stun them again. And I can continue to heal Dismas, which I might actually do just to make sure he doesn't go down here. It was a good choice because that would put him right back on death's door, and don't want that. So basically, this dude, I want to get rid of him as soon as possible. He causes a lot of damage to the party. As an archer, he's very annoying. Back on death's door. Hopefully we'll be able to make it through without him dying. That would be quite nice. I might Disorienting Blast again. See, his stun resistance is gone. So, to do that wouldn't be too bad. Buffing Distance, he's kind of useless right now on Death's Door. So, what's this? 4 to 7, he has exactly 4 HP. Guaranteed kill. Just get him right out of here. Dismas is suffering a lot of damage. With Death's Door, you lose basically most of your damage, so Grape Shot Blast is literally going to do 0. As you can see here, it has damage mod minus 60, and basically you lose 60% of your damage. So he's going to guaranteed only hit this for 1. So might as well just do a pistol shot and at least try to hit. But it missed. That's what happens when they're on Death's Door. They lose a lot of accuracy. Now, I can see my damage here. I'm going to do 6 to 12. The chances I kill him, pretty decent. If I didn't feel confident, I could stun him. But he's out of there. No need for that. Let's just get rid of him. Dismas going first. Pop this man in the back. As you can see, his damage and accuracy are back because of his he's off Death's Door. You can use a Disorienting Blast, get rid of these corpses, stun him. Now I don't have to kill him right away because he is stunned. Chances are of him surviving, absolutely 0. I can bop him in the head, try to stun him again. But as you can see, I think you always guaranteed at least hit for 1. So he wasn't making it either way. There's this Curios right here. Let's see what this is. A Holy Fountain, an Ornate Holy Fountain. I'm not exactly sure what this one does, but it looks pretty positive. So I can give it to somebody if I want something positive on. Say it gives like a positive quirk and I want it on him. I can do that. It's a possibility that I can cure a negative quirk. So I might want to cure Kleptomaniac, which is quite annoying because they will steal your items. So let's try here. Let's see if we can cure this. Oh, nope, we just found some gold. That's cool too. Money's always nice. We're going to specifically walk this path just to get to this Curios. Look at that. Some crests, which are always great to have. A torch, which we'll just burn for the sake of burning it. We'll take off. And as you can see, once again, we're just instantly out of room. So little space. So I'm just going to get rid of this anti-venom to take the crest. And then we'll close it. We lose the anti-venom. But we got the crest, which are worth so much more. Walking backwards can cause your party stress if you're not careful about it. So I wouldn't normally recommend it, but I just don't want to walk all the way around, as sometimes it can cause battles to spawn in the hallways. See, this is one of those hunger checks. The exertions of adventuring have produced a growing hunger amongst the party. Now I can eat nothing and take 20% damage plus stress damage. Don't want to do that. Or you can eat some food and get some health. Always make sure you have enough food to feed the party. Always. That's why I don't normally use my food for healing. I keep it for those hunger checks. Now, it's very possible that just moving through here, there's a second hunger check. Highly improbable. Well, look at that. A bunch of food. A bunch of food. Not even a worry. You know what? We'll just pop some of it right now. to give them healthy. Boom. Look at that. Now they're good on health. Don't have to worry about it. Just in case there's one last battle in this room, we're pretty set for it. Now, I could leave, or, since I'm feeling spunky, I'll go ahead and push to this last room. I mean, we have all these extra items, shovels, skeleton keys, medicinal herbs that didn't get put to use. So we might as well see if we can put them to use in this last room. Boom, look at that. Shovel used. Nice. Obviously, there's most likely going to be battle, but hopefully there's great reward. Seeing as there's that chest. This is unfortunate. This is what you get for being greedy sometimes. We're going to... It's basically, do I want to prevent stress damage, which I'm not very stressed. So I want to kind of prevent the health damage and shuffle this guy around and stun him. A little bit of stress damage will be fine. We can take that. Let's see here. What do we got? We don't really need the healing. So to put as much damage on him as possible would be nice, but she just kind of missed. I'm just going to focus on shooting him down to mitigate the stress damage as much as possible. And seeing as he got shuffled to the back, one step at a time, he's just got to come forward. It's good dodge, good dodge. So as you can see, he's suffering the highest stress. It's really trying to put him over the edge, which is annoying. I can make him realistic. I think I would rather keep stunning people if possible. What's the stun chance here? 100%. So basically, I have a 50% chance to stun him. Yeah, I'll take the chance. It's worth it if we get another stun. Dope. And like I said, we'll just keep shooting. He's out of the way. No longer have to worry about that. Judgment. I'd rather heal him, get his health up. I don't have to worry about the stress damage anymore. Ooh, that crit. That was a powerful crit. Let's move up another step. Dead weight should knock him back. I kind of want it to. The stun's unfortunate, but him getting knocked back is exactly what I wanted. So that way he's out of danger. Normally I wouldn't like to use open vein, but seeing he doesn't have a skill that'll hit this guy in the front besides it, it'll do the job. And it's also a nice speed debuff, so it allows some of my other units to go first. So get a heal on him, get him off death's door. Most likely he won't get stunned. Even if he gets knocked back, it's alright. That's unfortunate. That's highly unfortunate. Go ahead and smite this man to just get him out the battle. That reduces a lot of the damage coming from the enemy party right there. Now I'm going to shoot this guy specifically because he doesn't do much damage. He's just annoying in the way of, how do you say, just like CC. Like knocking my people back and forth. Like I might as well just like stun him to stop him from doing that for a turn. How unfortunate. I'm getting so unlucky with like the resistant being stunned. Now he's going to be on death's door. It's fine. It's no big deal. He's not bleeding, so he'll make it. Oh my goodness. He's on death's door as well. This is unlucky. So you see, he became vigorous. Like that's basically him becoming virtuous. He de-stresses his whole party, and he's like, let's go. He's ready for combat. He wants to get in there. He's the man's right now. Like he's ready for battles. Bop. Now, damage isn't impressive, but that's because he was on death's door. Let's see here. We're gonna just shoot this guy to get rid of him. Now that he's out of there. All you kind of have to do, dude, is just kill this man. Just make him die, and we're good. We're ready to go. Slash him up. Boom. Easy peasy. Nobody died. We came close, but that's the way this game is sometimes. Uh, as I was saying before, you have these things like they stack, but they eventually reach a full count, and as you can see, it's 5. But as we're about to get out of this dungeon, I don't need these anymore, so I can trade these for these, and these sell for a lot. And we'll close that. Open the chest, pop a key. Look at all these nice things. Look at all these great crests. We'll drop those. We need the bus, so we'll exchange that for that. Might as well take the gold. Yeah, I guess there was a stack it fit into, yeah, right down there. Other than that, there's really not much else to do here. What I can do is pop these food. To take these, hopefully they sell for more. We'll close it up, and you just come over here, hit the quest complete button, and you send your people home. Look at that, 3,000 gold. All this gold right here stacking up. On top of that 3,000, we earned another 965. No, 964. So, what? 12k gold for one of the easiest missions in the game. Yeah, and I know I said easiest, and you saw how hard that went, but that's how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you struggle, sometimes you don't. This is, I think, one of the best positive quirks in the game. Weapon Tinker. Upgrading weapons and armor costs a lot of money. So if you can reduce that cost any amount is quite nice. And even though they were so stressed and beat up that they got no negative quirks, that means we came out pretty much golden on this dungeon. So, successfully complete your first foray into the ruins. We completed our first quest goal. Nice. Now, basically here, we have the tavern is unlocked and the abbey is unlocked. These things are meant to reduce your hero's stress. So, as you can see, they're kind of stressing out here. I can just go to the tavern. Hey, you want to be with some girls? Boom. Girls are yours. You feeling a little stressed? I would say these stress levels are acceptable. Let's see what we got out of Stagecoach first. Love my grave robbers. Love my occultists. And an arbalist. Now, I could take this other Plague Doctor, but I really don't want them. Plague Doctor isn't a class that I put much value in, although I know a lot of people like them. You can also see everybody comes with their own positive and negative quirks, so that can also be kind of decide who you want to take with you. I just kind of want these people, even as they are, because I don't have the classes right now. So, like, he has known cheat, he's not allowed to gamble, and he has a ruins phobe. That means when he's in the ruin, he has higher stress. But unyielding plus death blow resist, that's awesome. That means he's harder to kill. Wheel Scrounger, that means in the Wheeled, which is another map, he has a higher chance of scouting, which makes it so I know what's coming up on the map. Then we have my Grave Robber. Love her. Look, she's such a cutie. Such a cutie. Anyway, she has Manslayer, which gives her plus 10 accuracy versus humans, which makes her great for maps where human enemies appear and I can kill them. Although she has Plutomania, which means sometimes she might steal some money or go crazy looking for it, which is terrible. But, like I said, trade-offs, the good and the bad, and everything comes in balance. So, since I really didn't get another tank-style unit, as much as I would like to send him for some stress recovery, it's just not going to happen yet, and he's going to have to go out on another mission realistically with that much stress. It's not the worst, but it's not the best either. And as you can see, these are still locked. Just gotta wait our turn before we can get into these other levels here. But I have my choice of the litter. You can see what's coming up. Like, deeds are great. You need deeds to upgrade certain buildings, which are some of the more important buildings in the game. You have this cursed incense for the occultist, which is basically an occultist only trinket, and plus debuff plus move skill minus max HP. Not something I put a lot Desire on. Heilman plus 10% damage to range skills. That's awesome. I think I might end up doing that. Plus 8 dodge is pretty cool actually. And Houndmaster, stun skill chance but losing speed. I don't even have a Houndmaster yet. I'm not too worried about that. Plus 10 damage to range skills, but I think I kind of want this for the 8 dodge. Although the healing received isn't too good, I don't really like that. That's a lot of dodge. I don't think I can pass that up. Even for a medium quest where we have to do camping, I think my people should be able to complete that without much issue. Seeing as I can't upgrade their skills if I wanted to, I might as well just deal with it. I'm going to trade my cultist. As you can see here, what he does, he has the weird reconstruction, which it's very possible he can heal 0 and bleed your unit, but it's a much stronger heal than the Vestals. And he has weakening curse, he has abyssal artillery, and he can stab people, which is pretty cool. The grave robber, she has her shadow fade, which means she can dance back and forth between second spots. She can go back, she can stun an enemy, and it gives her 20 dodge. She also has Thrown Dagger, which is great for dealing damage to enemies in the back line. She has Poison, which is awesome for dealing with skeletons because of its amount of blight damage. Toxin Trickery lets her cure Blight and Bleed and also gives her dodge and speed. She's very much kind of a dancey. She has a lot of different skills that lets her move back and forth and do lots of damage. And her combined with the Highwayman should equal some good fun. So, let's do, I think we should do one more dungeon, and then we'll call this video. So as you can see, we have the firewood. Firewood is used for camping, and camping's kind of nice. Basically, you have your camping skills, which I'll show off when we get there. For a mission like this, I would bring 12 food. Still no torches. I don't have much value in them. Some keys. We'll bring some medicinal herbs. We'll bring two of these just in case. We'll only bring one. So therefore, we know since the vessel's not here, it's the Crusader bringing the holy water. So that's how that's going to go. And we've actually covered 2 dungeons in this video already. I think I'm going to pick back up with this dungeon in the next one. I know I said I wouldn't, but that's what we're going to do, and I apologize. So anyway, thank you for watching. This is our first exploration of the Darkest Dungeon, but things only get grittier and much tougher from here, and I'm excited to see where they go. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and come back if you like. Please do subscribe. Leave a thumbs up if you really want to, and I'll see you next time as we explore the Darkest Dungeon. Peace.